So 30B, and make sure it's connected good there, and 17B. 30B and 17B. Okay, 30B and 17. I don't have it in there. 17B. All right. And remember, as we're building, we want to make sure nothing's touching each other, and we want to make sure everything is got in a good contact. Okay. Then we have our resistor 2, a 330 ohm resistor, which is orange, orange, brown, gold. Orange, orange, brown, gold. And it's going to go into 4A and 17A. 4A, 4A, and 17A. 17A. 4A and 17A. Okay, so we have 4A and 17A. And that's our resistor 2. Then we have our LED. And remember, LEDs have, what do we say about this LED? Maybe I'll set it back down and you can see. Yes, it has polarity. Yes. So we have to be real careful when inserting it into our thing. The anode will be 4E. Anode 4E. Cathode F4. Or 4F, I'm sorry. 4E and 4F. And the anode is on 4E. And the cathode is on 4F. How many of you knew what is the anode? What is the anode? Did you say positive or did you say negative? If you said positive for the anode, you're right. So the anode was in 4A, which is the positive side, and 4F was the negative side, the cathode. Okay? We're going to move on to our wires. So you need wire 1. Wire 1 will go into, here's your wire. It will go into 17J, 17J right here, and 30J right at the bottom, 30J. Okay, that's our first wire. Make sure that you get a good contact. You can feel it touch. That's the way I do it, and I usually try to keep my fingers as close to the bottom so my wires don't bend. And then also, we need wire 2, which is 4I. So we're going to be 4I. And then rotate that to 17I. 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 Alright, making sure everything's neat and nothing is touching. And if you do that as you go, you don't have to worry. Your circuit should work, okay? If you make sure your contacts are there, it should work. Alright, making sure everything's good. And then we need our battery snap. Here's our battery snap. Remember, we have a positive and a negative, so which one of these is positive while I'm opening mine up? If you said the red, you're right. That is correct. The positive is our red, and our negative is our black. Our positive is going to go in 30E, right here, 30E, positive. And then our negative is going to go into, oops, sorry, 30E was our positive, and then 30F is our negative. And I'm going to have to look around my phone because when I look through my phone, my fingers doesn't do the same thing as they should. But look around it. There we go. Alright, 30F, 30E, and 30F. Alright. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 things. We have more connections than that, but I'm just counting resistor. We have 2 resistors, so that's 2. LED light 3. 2 wires, 4, 5. And then our battery snap is 6. All right, so do not add your battery yet. We're going to add our I'm going to add our, well, you could add your battery. Actually, go ahead. If you have that all set up, let's add our battery. I want you to pay attention to what the light does when we add the battery, because we have two resistors on, so we're not going to burn up our LED. As long as you have your resistors on. Oh, so it didn't work, did it? Okay, so now let's try our first capacitor. Okay, so we should have our capacitor 100 microfarad, and it does have polarity. We already talked about that. So that first capacitor is going to be 17F for the anode and 17E for the cathode. So the anode is 17F. Alright, so 17F is the anode and 17E is the cathode. Alright, so we have 17F as the cathode. Oh, wait just 1 second. I'm sorry. 17, I think I just did the opposite of what I said. 17F. 17F is the anode, the positive, and 17E is the negative. Okay. Alright. So we got that on there. Did you get yours on there? If not, you can just pause it until you get it on there. Okay. Now, let's add the battery. Making sure nothing's touching. And then we're going to add the battery. Snap. Add the battery to the battery. Snap is what I was trying to say. Okay, so my light did not come on. So I did everything. So what I'm going to do is, I had this happen in another lesson. I'm going to go back and I'm going to check my wires. Anytime you add